a drug user, or even abusive. It would then become important that a neutral person supervise visits between that parent and the child or children. It is very uncommon for a judge to not allow any visits or access to the children, so that is typically the way that it would be done. Now we move on to page 42, the final page that you will need to know for this exam that will be coming up. And again, I'll let you know when that will happen. We're situating the details for how the test will be delivered, since you will not likely be going to the testing center, at least based on what I know now. So, mediation is the next topic. This is on page 42. Quite often, the judge will tell people in court, unless you want me to decide everything that's going to happen to you and your children until they're all 18 years old, your youngest child, I should say. Instead, why don't you sit down with one of our court-ordered mediators and try to work this out? This is exactly what I did for 2 years with the court, and let me tell you, it was often a miserable job. People would come in, they didn't really want to talk, they seemed more interested in arguing with each other, and sometimes it almost seemed like a miracle. By the end of 2 hours, we could get them to talk and agree on what would be best for the children. What you submit to the court is called a joint stipulation. If they both sign it, that means that they agree on whatever it is, who the children are going to live with, how much time each person is going to have with them, what do you do for holidays. Sometimes you need to get creative, Christmas and Christmas Eve, early Thanksgiving and late Thanksgiving, 2 birthday parties for the child, or maybe you can both be at the same party and split the cost. There are endless possibilities, but you have to get the people to sit down and agree on something. So that's what mediators do. They are not there to decide anything. They are there to be neutral. Almost like those court-ordered supervisors are neutral, so are mediators. They're not there to take anybody's side. They are there to facilitate conversation and then put into a document whatever the parents eventually agree upon for their children. So that's different than an evaluation. The best interest of the children is stated by the psychologist. A mediator will do just the communication part and try to get the parents to agree with each other. The last thing is what's known as a family court advisor. You might have seen me cheat and look at my reading packet here, because it used to be called special master. We've changed the name of it now, and what that person does is sort of acts like a judge. That person gets to make decisions and then report to the judge what he or she decides. It's often a psychologist, but I've seen other professionals take on this role as well. So, your say is not the final say, but it often is. This is not done for really big things. It's done for the little things that people argue about. Should the child be allowed to have a sleepover? Should the child be able to participate in a sport or something? What about junk food? Oh my goodness, parents argue about this and many other things. And when they split up with each other, they often do not agree. So therefore, if they call the family court advisor and he or she hears both sides of it, they will tell the judge what they think is best for the kids. So that is it. Your next test, I will inform you once we have that put in place and we have a format for you to take it, will be over sections 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the reading packet. And not, as usual, not over the Douglas book. That is what you will need to know to do your presentation. So in the meantime, why not send me a Canvas message and ask who your case will be? I've only had 6 so far out of 25 of you. So please send me a Canvas message and I will assign you a case and you can get to work on that. All right, I'll see you next week for the next chapter in the book.